Greetings once again, heroes and villains out there. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with another chapter of My Hero Academia. And the villain has arrived. All for One's consciousness has revealed itself from deep within Tomura Shigaraki. Yes, his ultimate goal was able to be given way to because of Deku and the others breaking down of the hardened walls around Tomura's heart. The only thing protecting Tomura's mind and soul from complete control of All for One. It is in that moment, in the mindscape, he reveals to both Deku and Tomura that he has been the grand manipulator of Shigaraki's life. Something that was fairly easy to call, but because of Tomura's own rage and personal issues and self-loathing, he never really even considered it. Most people didn't. At least, anyone in the universe. Many of the fans called it, and I know many of the fans are actually kind of angry that Tomura was not the ultimate villain. But the thing is, at least in my opinion, Tomura is a villain. Bad things happen, yes, but at no point did he choose to move beyond his own criminal action. He just continued to spiral, do wrong, do more wrong, do more wrong. At some point you kinda gotta draw the line, you know? Regardless, All for One muses that after fighting with Banjo and En, he realized that it took a strength of will in order to steal One for All. So he decided to use Nana Shimura's own son, manipulating him into having a second child, Tenko, stealing away Tomura Shigaraki's original quirk before it could come to be, encouraging Tomura's love of heroes by telling his friends to play hero more and more, while also telling his father to be more strict. And then one day he did it. In disguise, he walked a lost Tomura home and gave him the decay quirk, which in truth was an altered version of none other than Overhaul's ability, just without the restorative ability. This was gained because Overhaul was raised in an orphanage overseen by Garaki. In fact, as revealed that Overhaul was once a candidate to be a vessel for All for One. At one point, he could have been Tomura Shigaraki. He sure as hate filled it up. But why is All for One revealing all of this? To break Tomura down even further. The idea that all these machinations had been done to your life, that all these things that at the very least helped fortify Tomura in the thought that at least he made these choices he never did, to know that he was nothing more than a pawn? Oh, that confidence that Shigaraki had built over all this time, it crumbled and gave way to All for One. And so All for One takes over Tomura Shigaraki's body. Although the ravages of Tomura's abilities as well as everything that happened in the mindscape have wrecked Shigaraki's body, but it's still a powerful one nonetheless. And Tomura's not completely gone. You can hear the faint screaming of Shigaraki in the back of every time All for One tries to speak. So what should he create in order to silence him? A hand right over his mouth that All for One can speak through, but Tomura cannot. However, there was also more than just a toll on Shigaraki's body. Decay, the hatred that Tomura felt that All for One intended to use, as well as the soul of All for One's body are all gone. Casualties of the conflict of both mind and body. But All for One says, world domination nonetheless. While Izuku can only crawl on the ground. You see, when he was battling Tomura in the mindscape, Izuku lost both his arms. But that was not just metaphorical, no. Izuku lost both of his arms. And as he struggles on the ground to fight back against All for One, who should come to his aid? Sero, Sato, and Ojiro, doing their best to strike back against All for One, having arrived with a racer head through one of Kirigiri's warp gates that seemed to have a bit of cloud in them amongst the black smoke, here to do what they can in order to help. What happened to Kirigiri? How will Deku fight without any arms? I mean, Mirko made it work. And despite everything, All for One is still powerful beyond belief. How do you beat what seems to be unbeatable, unkillable, everlasting? Join me as I find out, won't you? Finally, we get the flashback that I've been waiting for. I don't hate that we had it show up now, because it's a nice little bit of a surprise. It's just, oh no, I had wanted to see that before. It It's just a willfulness of mine. But My Hero Academia number 420. This is why we get to smoke in this issue. From Aizawa, who people I remember back in the day already said seemed like he smoked a few too many, if you know what I mean. We pick up with Kurogiri calling out, "I am pro," with Present Mike diving after Aizawa, and Kurogiri with Mike saying, "Wake up, you! Where the hell are we?" We then see them stranded on a plateau in the water. Aizawa watching on as Present Mike holds up Kurogiri shouting, "Our comms are dead. So we're in the dark about the war, damn it." Mike thinks about Kurogiri's words that he keeps repeating. "I am protector of Tomer Shigaraki." And Mike just starts punching into him again and again, shouting, "You picked a real great time to malfunction. Show some life, scum." Aizawa remembers Mike's words saying, "If you ain't Shirakuma anymore, then do us a favor, fade away and leave us the memories." And Aizawa continues to watch Mike welling up with tears, saying, We never should have put our faith in this thing's hands, relying on this corpse to save us. Bada idea all along." But Aizawa, he stops Mike's hand as he says, "I see tears." Mike, thinking he's talking to him, wipes his face, saying, "Nuh-uh, I'm a manly man." Oh God. Aizawa says, "Not you, him." Mike tells him, "It's raining, pal. Those ain't tears. This thing's a Nomu. It took you off the playing field since you've messed with Shigaraki twice now. End of story. Our priority now is switching it back on so we can get back in the fight. Once that's done, I'll go to town on this tool till it stays down for good." Aizawa, as far as spoils of war go, we drew a darkened dud here. So go ahead and forget about that miracle back in Tartarus. We're 31 now. Not schoolboys in UA's class 2A anymore. Sucks to be in your 30s. But Aizawa tells him, "True, but he was a UA student when he died." And they remember the breakthrough, the divide within the two minds. Shirakumo's voice calling it Ash. While Kurogiri says, "I am Shigaraki have to." Aizawa holds on to Kurogiri's face, saying, "Why not tear us to pieces with Warp Gate, or drop us to our death?" Mike turns away. They remember the faint glitz of Shirakumo in the darkness, saying, "Who were she, friend?" Aizawa holds Kurogiri by the face, saying, "That day in Tartarus, we reached toward him and drew out a bit of light. It blended with his darkness and shut him down. No amount of light can ever reverse all that dark. But darkness works differently. That's what activated him again." You remember Spinner managing to activate Kurogiri. Aizawa says, "I know you know this, Yamada. We're educators in the hero course. It's our job to make sure UA students reach graduation. And if that's where his origin lies." Aizawa thinks back to the three of them in school. And the darkness around Kurogiri explodes outward. And Kurogiri calls out to Mike. And Mike holds his head in his hand, saying, "Those memories ain't ever gonna fade." As more of Shirakumo's wispy face can be seen in the black mask that is Kurogiri. Back at the police headquarters, communication comes over, calling out to Tsukauchi. He yells, "Eraser, you're still with us. Where have you been?" Aizawa says, "Tell me, is Monoma still fit to fight?" Tsukauchi tells him no. The boy got carted off for urgent treatment after a nasty blow to the head. Poor kid. Aizawa says, "Got it. In that case, give me an update on each theater of battle, plus all available personnel and their exact coordinates." Yeah, bring in everybody who's left. Tsukauchi questions coordinates. Why? Oh, right then. Aizawa suddenly pops into the shelter next to Ectoplasm. Ectoplasm says, "Eraserhead, how did you come to be here?" Eraser says, "We managed to make use of Kurogiri. He and Mike are on standby outside the grounds. Gather up the heroes assigned to this evacuation and protection mission, leaving behind only the ones best suited to defense." Ectoplasm questions, "Kurogiri, you say? I thought he could not be won over." Aizawa tells him, "There's no telling how long our hold on him will last, so get moving." The people whisper amongst themselves at the change in direction. Death Arms steps forward, saying, "You're offering a quick trip to the front lines? I'm in. Take me with you." Another hero says, "Same here. I'm kind of a nobody, but I'm still a hero. Let me fight too." Aizawa looks to the screen, seeing Deku's fight against Shigaraki. He nods, saying, "Come to the main entrance then." The kid who once called out that Deku shouldn't be allowed at UA steps forward, saying, Hey, You give this to a hero who's hurt? He hands over his All Might shirt, and Aizawa takes it, a bit surprised, as he sees behind the boy more people stepping forward, with bandages, water, blankets. Aizawa looks away saying, sure. Thank you. Aizawa thinks most of the battles are already won. We'll reach out to anyone on their feet and able to fight. I think they're still up in the air at the National Tokuba Arena though. The escaped prisoner there is a notorious criminal known for wide-range devastation and battles of attrition. Yeah, he's make it like fleshy clones. Gashly Ejiju. And we see that he was fighting against Sero, Ojiro, Sato, and 13 until suddenly a portal opens up overhead. When suddenly out of the portal, ectoplasm and class 1Bs, Setsuna and Kamakiri come bursting out. Setsuna yelling, we're here to help, along with several other heroes. Aizawa then thinks, then there's still, and he says, Divide and Conquer, Phase 3. And we see in the present day, with Aizawa standing over Deku, with Ojiro, Sato, and Sero, more and more warp portals open up. All for One holds out his hand, questioning, come to have your quirk stolen, have you? Deku weakly says, Sensei, it's you. Aizawa tells him, keep still. How long since you lost your arm? Deku says, dunno, I'm not sure how much time passed in that subconscious space. He thinks Shigaraki had taken over All for One. Back at UA on that floating tomb, All for One was boasting about overcoming the resistant Shigaraki and achieving a perfect fusion of the two. When I was Shigaraki's turn, it didn't work that way. All for One got totally swallowed up. He was really gone. I thought for sure that smashing Tenko spirit would break both of them. So how is All for One back in action? And Aizawa, he hands over Iri's horn. We see in a flashback, Iri coming to Aizawa, calling out to him. He turns in shock as Iri with tears in her eyes says, the teachers don't want to take me to the scary battle. I know why I can't go, but please give this to Deku. As she hands over her horn. This is the way of getting around it. Aizawa questions, you broke your horn? Why? And how? She tells him, I asked and got some help. Aizawa turns to Ectoplasm saying, really? Ectoplasm responds, I do apologize, but the girl has learned much about rational and irrational actions from me. Iri tells him, you and the teachers helped me learn all about my power. All you need to use it is this, cause it's a piece of me. Aizawa tells her, that's a rough way to go about it. You might have damaged your quirk for good. Harry tells him, I want to help All Might and Kacchan like this, but I couldn't. And I want to sing. And she thinks back to Jiro's concert. She says, Sensei, Deku and all his friends did all that fun stuff with me, so once this bad day is all over, I want to sing for them. Aww. I know that I can't help a lot, but let me fight too. And Aizawa shoves the horn into Deku's shoulder, or he just kind of pokes him with it. And Aizawa remembers Ectoplasm's words saying, the accumulated energy is lacking to a nearly useless extent. Any target will be rewound slowly, and not by a great amount of time. But Aizawa thinks, still, it might give someone back 2 or 3 minutes, yeah? As Deku's arms start to reform, he exhales saying, you can't die until you've heard her sing. And Deku starts to tear up. I know some people are gonna be mad about that, but I knew there had to be some way that Iri managed to do this. And I'm like, but they wouldn't bring her to the fight. They keep reiterating that. Here's the workaround. Though it would be pretty messed up, but honestly pretty interesting if she just can't use her abilities anymore. Like, that takes Iri out of the equation after this point. Ooh, okay. Aizawa calls out, we were all feeling the same way, I bet. Like we were down for the count, yeah? But then we heard about Midoriya busting his butt. Oh, I'm actually not sure who's saying this. Then we heard about Midoriya busting his butt out here. So we got our own butts in gear. Now from the portals come Gang Orca, a bunch of other heroes I can't quite make out, but Mineta, Kaminari, Yairozu, Shoji, and Koda, all still ready to fight. Jeez, Mineta, after everything you went through, like you were at ground zero for a lot of things. I'm glad, because I kept saying, Yairozu kind of got the shaft in the final battle, and so did Kaminari to a certain degree. He didn't really get to help out with anything, but I'm just like, okay, here it is. There we go. Good. It's like, it's seriously one of those situations of how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? This is cool. There was no way around this being kind of called out as like, oh, Avengers Endgame reference, but it is what it is. To say that every situation that involves portals is just Avengers Endgame is just like, come on. But I love it. And Deku, who knows how long it'll take for his arms to fully heal, and how healed his arms actually will be. How many more people will step through the portals. Like, this is a good moment for one last hurrah. And I'm kind of hyped, because honestly, a lot of those moments of everyone just, running up on All For One and beating that ass was some of my favorite moments during this whole final fight. I will always say, when it's everyone against the one villain, that's hype, because it shows how friggin' tough the one villain is. I don't mind it coming down to a one-on-one slobber knocker for the most part, but at least let it be that everyone else had to wear the villain down to some degree, and we've seen that. But at the same time, we've also seen how much All For One could give a beat down to everybody. So this is it. This is it, guys. This is your last hurrah. I would love it if we even see some vigilante characters in here. I'm not getting my hopes up, because it feels like that time is kind of long since passed, but you never know. Come on, Crawler, come on. But this really feels like it. Like, this fully, to me, feels like this is the end. It's almost done. Like, this is the final stretch, because that Aizawa stuff was the last stuff that needed to be addressed. This is it. Nail that landing, Horikoshi. Nail it. I like this. I like this so far. Like, I've loved a lot of directions. I'm satisfied with where it's going. Just land. Just land. I don't care about the people who are saying it's rushed and yada yada yada, this, that, or the other. No. Everything that's been set up has paid off. Every little bit of setup has paid off to some degree. Now give some of the heroes one last hurrah to go out on and be done. That's all you gotta do, man. Come on. I won't mind a few twists and turns up until the end, but don't pull something really stupid out of your butt. Like, don't bring in some surprise Kaguya. No, this is it. End it. End it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Till then, bye-bye.